everyone, and welcome back to the Wedding Boss Life podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Dragon Cook. I'm an educator, creative innovator, and a major Target fan. Like, it's almost a borderline problem. This podcast is all about equipping wedding pros with the tools needed to stop spinning your wheels and start streamlining the behind the scenes of your business. I hope each episode leaves you feeling more empowered because, quite frankly, you deserve it. Okay, so guys, without further ado, let me introduce you to Dov and Nicole. These are two of my very favorite ladies. I met them last year. Holy crap, it's only been last year in Miami, and they truly are like my sisters from another mister. We won't even get into that, but yes, love them to pieces. And we are going to let them just take the floor and do their thing because I hate tech. So roll with it, loves.
Awesome. So I also hate tech. So Nicole's going to be looking down a bit because your questions are not popping up on our screen. So we're going to be looking on her phone at the Facebook stream because I'd make sure we don't lose you guys, lose questions and things like that. So I'm Dov.
I'm Nicole.
We're so happy to be with you this morning. Thank you again, Lauren. It's really nice to just kind of connect and talk about things. And, so we're consciousness mentors. We work with the way your consciousness serves you or doesn't serve you in your life. And we work with energy. And a lot of you may be familiar with the concept of energy as like in, I had enough caffeine today. We're talking about energy as in the energy that makes up everything. Right? And some of these concepts are not at all just spiritual, just quantum. They're really scientific, right? We really understand the vibration and energy creates all things, right? So you're constantly creating, projecting, creating, forming things all of the time. And our job is to kind of bring to your attention, what are you creating, right? And what do you want to create? How are you going to get there, right? Because I think we get really bogged down. We start to get focused on things outside of us a lot, really forgetting to focus on this internal projector. So that's what I call it, right? So today we're going to talk about you are your business, but with a twist. Like, what do I mean when I say you are your business? So imagine that in life, you're looking at all these things outside of you, some of which we need to look at. Like, we need to learn how to read and write. We need to learn how to maybe deal with tech stuff, right? Lauren's making a face. Maybe you don't need to learn, right?
Do you want me to take that?
I think I figured it out. Okay, go on. Just keep going. Rolling.
Lauren's going to be mimed by Nicole. So, we're looking at these things outside of us, some of which, again, right, we need to learn to do this. Maybe you learn a skill for your business, all of these things. But what we often don't focus on is what's going on inside. What happens is our world will have breakdown here or there. Maybe it's our money flow. Maybe it's our relationships. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. And what we want to do is we want to go to the outside. And I tell people, I say, think about yourself like a projector. If you are looking at a movie that's being projected on the wall and all of a sudden the movie starts to glitch, isn't it nonsensical? Isn't it illogical to run to the wall and start to try to fix it? Because that's just the projection, right? We have to turn around and go to the projector. So the projector is you. That's your internal state, right? So when we're working with people, we're looking at stuff. We're looking at what the heck is going on in there. And a lot of it, we can't see. And we can't even necessarily even get it in our subconscious. Some of it is just stuff we're carrying around like magnets, right? Your past traumas, your experiences. People always come to me, they say, oh, I'm over that. I'm like, it's not a cold, right? It's in our cells. It's in our DNA. So today we're going to talk about how your business, everything you, especially since you guys are entrepreneurs, everything you is relevant to your business, okay? I feel low self-esteem. I am fighting with my partner. I don't have a partner and it makes me feel bad about myself. I'm having an issue with food. I'm having an issue with anxiety. All of these things are affecting your bottom line, your connection with your clients, your productivity, your ideas, your inspiration. And believe it or not, guess what? That's the conversation we're having with our clients. Because this conversation we're having right now, that's only 10%.
Right.
The other 90% is the conversation we're having with my intention, the energy, what's coming up for you. And so we think like, you know what, I'll just paint a good face on, show up, it's going to be okay. And then we're like, I'm doing everything right. What is getting stuck? That's because that's what's happening in here. So you as a whole are your business. You are your reality, right? It's cool to be an entrepreneur because of this.
Yeah, definitely. So I just want to give you a general example of like the creations in my life since I was little, right? So just to give you a little background on me, I grew up it was a hard household, right? There was a lot of drug addiction. There was just a lot of abuse. There was a lot of things going on, right? My family did their best to raise me. I was a smart little thing. I was a smart ass too.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a lot of things. You know, I saw a lot of things, and you know, when we're younger, our parents teach us things, and the world teaches us things, and we take it as face value. And then when we grow up, we get to decide, you know, really, what is truth and not truth, right? And so, you know, I picked up a nasty drug addiction when I was 16, and it lasted off and on for 20 years. I had an eating disorder, and all of these, you know, for me, were my way of coping with life. Because I just had so much trauma. So one of the things that stops us from creating abundance is when we have, as Dov was talking about, our cells and our DNA, we have trauma. And so our soul, right, wants to sit beautifully in this beautiful, you know, this beautiful car to say, right, this thing that's getting you about. And when there's trauma and there's negative thought forms that you have about yourself and about the world, and you're in doubt and fear, your soul is just like, I do not want to go in that house. Like, nobody wants to be in a trauma hoarding house. Yeah. Right? So I didn't want to be in my house, so I got really high to leave myself, to survive, to deal, and to cope. And that didn't last very long. It lasted actually a really long time, but it stopped working after a while. And so we do things in our lives that give us comfort. They give us something, and then after a while they don't work anymore because you actually have all the power within you to be okay. What is going on in the world? Right? And so my life, I went in and out of getting help and learning things, learning about my mind, and it took a really long time for me to finally wake up and decide that I was going to do something very different. Right? Whatever your mind is in the state that gets you into a hole is not the mind that is going to get you out of that hole. Right. Yes. But the awesome part about that is your mind can be corrected at every moment, right? And so I like to talk about universal laws because they're so beautiful and they're so true. And there's nothing you can do to stop the energy of a universal law because it is truth. And so there is the law of attraction, the law of abundance, the law of love. The law of attraction, and you guys probably, a lot of you know this, like attracts like. Whatever you're putting out, whatever you're thinking, you're going to bring back. Before the law of attraction, there was the law of love. And the law of love states that love is the only thing that exists. Right? So love has all these beautiful other things that go on. So peace and joy and ecstasy and connection and laughter and all these beautiful things we want. We have access to that every moment. That's who we are. Yeah. The thing is, we believe that we don't have that. And we believe that life has to be hard. And we believe like, oh, I can't be as rich as so-and-so. I can't have that much peace. I can't. Listen, we all have access to the same stuff, definitely. And what's awesome about growth is actually a law of growth that states that growth is accumulative, which means that you're never going backwards in your journey. I just want to say that one more time. You're never going backwards. Everything that you go through, even the hard times. So I wanted to talk about my story because I wanted to tell you that my pain and my hardship was the gem of my life. It is what taught me the most. It is still what teaches me today. There's something very beautiful about pain because when you go through pain and your back's against the wall and you have no other option, I mean, you have a lot of options actually. You can give up. But when you feel like you have no other option than to do something different and you do something different and then the universe just shows up, right? Because you are abundant at all times. You have access to it all. You have access to make your bank account be like this. You have access to being happy. You have access to joy. Yeah, I wanted to share.
I was thinking about what Nicole was saying. I was thinking about what we believe, right? How we, through our fears, our traumas, our experiences, through our families, through our society and our culture, we have specific conditioning, specific programming, specific ideas, right? If any of you want to share maybe some belief systems that you feel are not serving you, if you feel, vulnerable to do that, write it in the comments, right? Like the thought of miracles don't happen to me, or I can't have this, or my dream is too big, or I need to settle, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not good enough, or, and I love what Nicole said. She said there's so many things we think about that we don't even question. We take at face value, right? I need to work hard and a lot to make money. Guess what? No, not true, right? I need to suffer in order to receive good. Not true, right? Money is limited. Not true, right? Happiness is limited. Pain is bad and it should be avoided. Not true, right? It's interesting because all of these things have so much behind them, but we don't question them. We just sort of absorb them as truth, and then they're filling up our consciousness, and we don't really think about life with those thoughts in mind, even if they're in our subconscious, and then we're running with that. And then we look around and we go, oh, why am I stuck? I'm doing everything I can, and it's like because our mind is clogged with those beliefs, as Nicole was talking about, this energy of boomerang energy of the universe. That's what we're putting out, even if we're not aware of it. So that's right. If I believe in my mind, right, there's always a funny one, money doesn't grow on trees. Well, it's my experience. It does. It does. In the sense that it can fall out of the sky, right? And the thing is that we don't realize even little things like that, even sort of joking beliefs that we kind of throw around, we actually set those as our cornerstones, right? And it's very, very important for us to start to look at what is maybe not serving me, right? Like, is that belief system actually true? Have I looked in my life and seen that as true, right? We talked about I need to work hard and long, right? How many books are there by amazing, all the way from Napoleon Hill and before to now, so many books, the 3-Hour Work Week and all these different things. How many people and amazing business people have focused on this concept, not even from an energetic standpoint, but just the fact that it's just not true, right? So are we holding on to old beliefs like that that are not working for us? And, and I invite you guys to think about too, what's going on in your life that you have decided is separate from maybe your business, from, whatever it is that you're trying to get done right now, and really consider that it's not, right? That it's one seamless thing, that it's all absolutely relevant, that one thing is always affecting another. When somebody comes to us and they're like, I really need to work on my relationship, and then we start talking about mom or career or, what happened when you were 3, and you're like, but I came here to talk about my relationship, but your relationship is the way it is right now because of all of those roots.
That's right. Right?
When we work, we trace back to the root, not the symptom. And I think as a Western culture, we tend to be really, really symptom focused, right? So if you have a headache, you tend to not ask yourself whether you've had water that day or you've eaten lunch or whatever. You just go grab some Advil, right? Or whatever your choice of, medical relief for your headache is. And so this is a symptom-based approach, which we're all taught, right? If we have a little bit of anxiety, we don't think, oh, maybe there's something in there that's going on for me. Maybe I need to check in with myself. Maybe there's something I've been avoiding. Maybe there's something I'm sabotaging. Maybe, this cold was created by me because I didn't want to go to that event, or I was scared to do that, right? There's so much. And you know why this is beautiful? Is because it means that we're responsible for so much more than we see. And I think responsibility, right? I did a video recently. I think that we think it's a really dirty word, right? When we hear we're like, nobody wants responsibility. It's like, no, I don't want responsibility. It's like cough syrup. I look at responsibility different, and I invite you guys to kind of, readopt, right? Like we're gonna resurrect responsibility with a little bit of a new twist, which is like, if I'm responsible, then I'm not powerless. Mm-hmm. And if I'm responsible, then I have the power to create what I actually want to experience. Mm-hmm. And if I'm responsible, I'm not stuck in the things that I don't want to be stuck in. And so I really invite you to equate responsibility with opportunity, right? With freedom, with experience, instead of kind of like how we've tainted it with this idea of like, I don't want any more responsibilities. And that really has been our conditioning. Like nobody wants that. We want to kind of hand it over to something else, right? And I think if you can come into this concept of responsibility, it also makes everything more successful, right? You've got Lauren here, and she's this amazing, person and amazing coach and all of these different things. And she can tell you, hey, you can do this, this, and this, and it's going to work really cool. And I know because I am in this business and it worked for me in here. But if we don't want the responsibility to create that success, or we feel like we're unworthy to have that, it doesn't matter if like the guru of all guru comes down to you and says, I have the key to everything you need in your life. You're not going to hear it. You can't absorb it. You can't integrate it, right? So what we're looking for is other people's expertise. We're looking for the tools. We're looking for the support, but we're doing it in a way where we're removing our crap. Our like willingness to receive needs to be cleared out. We need to be able to do that. We're doing it in a way where we're like, I'm responsible. Therefore, I don't want to do everything. I don't want to handle all my emails or whatever, but that doesn't mean that I'm not responsible for my experience. And I'm not looking for one person to just kind of take over the responsibility of my life. And I think sometimes it feels so overwhelming to deal with our stuff that we kind of look for that. But you know what that creates? Resentment, right? Because we're not feeling empowered. That feeling of empowerment is everything. It's so, so vital. So if you guys can meditate on that, think about that, journal on that, write that down. What is that like for you?
Love that. So I want to change the speed a little because I keep seeing this. So if you guys don't know about Dr. Emoto, I want you, after you get off this, if you have extra time, I want you to look up Dr. Emoto on YouTube. It's like a 3-minute video. And what he did was he started to take water, and he took like a piece of paper and would write love on it, or he would write hate, or he would write like Adolf Hitler, or like all these different things underneath. And then they would freeze the water, and then they would put it under a microscope. And you can see that the structure of the water would change because of the frequency of the word. Dude.
Yeah, you
talk about this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Really want to talk about this. When you saw hate and anger, the water was black. Like black, it looked like just water that's been sitting there for a hot minute, right? A day or 5 days or a week, right? The love, the crystal, looked like the prettiest snowflake you've ever seen in your whole entire life. We are made up of like 80-something% water. Every thought that you are having and everything that you are speaking out is structuring your being.
Yeah.
One more time. Everything that's coming out of your mouth and everything that you are thinking is structuring you. Not only is it structuring you, but it is structuring your whole reality. I want you to see the video, and I want you to really think about what I'm saying, right? And I want to give you an assignment. I want you to start to think about what you are thinking about. Now, that's not exactly easy, so I'm going to give you 2 parts to it. If you tell yourself you're a piece of shit, write it down on a piece of paper. If you say that I'm just stupid, I messed up, I'm stupid, write it on the piece of paper. I want you to look at your lies. These are lies. These are things that you made up or you believed about yourself. Maybe somebody said it about you when you were younger. These are all lies. That is not truth. From what I understand about humans and love is I understand that you are gorgeous, you are beautiful, you are awesome, you are worthy. Just because you were born and your feet are on this planet, you are fucking worthy. Excuse my language. Okay, you are completely worthy. Okay, so I want you to start to keep a list. Then I want you to watch the way you're speaking to other people. Because if you're being nasty to other people, I promise you, when you're all alone with yourself, you're beating yourself up the same way. Everything that comes out of you is going right back in. So watch what you're saying to other people. I want you to journal it. And then I want you to look at it. Right? And I want you to write lie. lie, right? We have to start uncovering the lies so we can bring the truth in, so that you can set yourself free, so that you can change your whole life. Because if you change the way you're thinking about yourself and the way you're thinking about life, your whole life is going to change.
Yes.
It is going to look exactly the way you want it, because there's no other option when we really go right here. This is it. This is like the whole thing, this brain. It's not even that big. I mean, mine is huge. It's not that big. I do have a big head. It's very hard and big. And I am stubborn at times. This is why they're mindset coaches, right? So whatever's going on in here is going to either amplify your dreams or it's going to block your dreams, right? So that's the first assignment I wanted to give you, and I think Dov gave you another one. Just start to think about. These are the things that we start to think about. There's so many people ask me, where do I begin with doing energy stuff? I'm like, just start somewhere, right? Watch that video today. Start to learn. The more you're awake and aware of what's actually happening, and I said growth is accumulative. The more you know, the more you're aware, and the more you can be conscious of everything, and so that you understand that your consciousness is creating it all. So,
dude,
you know
wait a minute. Sorry, I have to hold. So as you were just saying that, Nicole, it was 23 minutes and 33 seconds.
Yeah, I get it.
Every time.
Sure.
Those aligned numbers to let you know that you're on track.
Yep.
You know, I was thinking when Nicole was talking.
Oh, when you add them together, it's a 9, and that means completion. So
I meant to
there you
that.
go.
Truth.
So.
That's okay.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
And it's building. It's okay. Sometimes it's not necessary. But absolutely 100%. And you know what? Like, we don't bring a lot of consciousness. We move a lot automatically. Right? We move through things automatically. So even just the homework Nicole was giving you, bringing awareness to your reality, because when we become aware, we then become able to control, just like when we understand, right? A lot of times people come to us and just understanding why these things are happening, what's going on energetically, what it is, even that alone is like, oh my God, I got the map. I'm not just like walking down the hallway with a blindfold on. So it's like anytime we can bring awareness, consciousness, and I really mean that in a, not like a sitting Buddha kind of consciousness, but really literally like I am conscious that I am doing this and seeing this and feeling this. And what I wanted to say actually came back to me is, guys, this is a process.
Yes.
We are very destination focused as humans. Somehow this thought came into our mind that there are destinations and we're very destination focused. I'm going to be happy at 5 when I'm done working. I will be happy in 5 years when I have $1 million. I will be happy in 10 years when I am retired. Please think about a lot of these things that you feel like need to come at some later future point are actually not at all contingent to anything external in your reality. They actually are things that are a choice to start experiencing right now, right? And the only thing that we really cannot replace in this lifetime, get into the other stuff, is our time in this lifetime. Our time, it's your most precious and beautiful commodity.
Yeah.
So if you think about, and I have wasted so many years going, I can't wait to get out of school today. I can't wait to get out of work today. I can't wait to, guys, that's so many hours of our life that we are like waiting for some future moment to enjoy instead of just being like relaxed, happy, joyful, connected right now. And the answer is yes. I mean, if you're able to stop right now, sit, have this awesome morning chat with us, think about these concepts, then that means at least there is electric in your home, that there is an internet connection somewhere, you have some sort of a device to do this. And in this very moment, everything is actually okay. And this moment is the only thing that really realistically exists. The past is just sort of a memory. The future is something we like to worry or focus on. And it's fine to plan for, but it isn't an actual reality yet. It hasn't happened. And so I think that we pressure ourselves to kind of get there. We tend to be, not present, and so we don't enjoy a lot. And then what happens is resentment, tired, frustration. and my doggy agrees. And then you're not creating gratitude.
Right.
So here's another gift and a trick and a secret, right? And so people say, how do I create the abundance and when I say abundance, I mean joy, love, connection, finance. It's all the same thing. It's just an energy of flowing energy. How do I create that abundance? Especially when I'm feeling stuck, or I'm in lack, or I'm like in debt, or I'm freaking out, or I'm alone. Gratitude. Gratitude is how we create that. That means that we need to be grateful for the present moment, right? And it's not like, and all of you might be like, oh, I'm grateful. It's not a conceptual gratitude. It's an active gratitude. Like, I need to stop and go, okay, and write it down or bring it to my mind. I am grateful. Like that we're all connected this morning. I'm grateful for that, right? I'm grateful that I am healthy and awake. I'm grateful that it's sunny and beautiful here. I'm grateful for my partner and my doggies. Whatever it is, to bring in that energy of gratitude, because that energy is what things grow from.
Yep.
And that is also contagious. When Nicole said that you're creating your energetic environment all the time, guess what happens when you're like, I really want clients, and then they like come close, right? And then they're like, and they run away, but they don't even know, because maybe they didn't even connect with you. They just went to your website, but they felt like all your frustration, your fear, and your worry, and your anxiety, and they were like, peace, because we're having this conversation energetic. Everything you touch, if you guys create content, if you created a website, a product, an email, you touched it. Your energy is being transferred in it. Listen, you don't have to totally believe me. Pay attention. Try it. See what happens when you make a video where you're in excitement and gratitude, and when you make one where you're pretending to be, but you're really super pissed off and you hate everybody that you're making a video for, right? Like, just try it. Test me. I tell people, you don't have to take my word for it. I mean, it's just what I do. No, I'm just kidding. But you don't have to take my word for it. Try it. Experiment with everything, right? Become this experimenter that can be an expert of their life and figure stuff out. Look back in time. Another thing too, we're scared to fail. We're scared that it'll be a disaster. Guess what? You're here right now. It obviously was never so much of a disaster that you couldn't be here in this moment, right? That you were always caught, that it was always corrected, no matter how challenging it felt. And you know what else came from that disaster? A lot of learning. And you know what's really cool about perceived failure, and I really don't like the word, so I call it perceived because it is a perception. Guess what? You learned what doesn't work. You learned what you don't want. You learned what to do different next time. And it's not an excuse to give up on ourselves, because it's actually valuable. What if we changed the way we looked at it and we went, cool, yes, I failed, because now I get to do something a little different, and because I know the universe has something better in store for me. Because I have something better in store for me. Right? This is not the proverbial universe outside of you, distant and apart from you. It is connected to you. You're dictating the show all the time. The universe is just showing up going, what's your order? What do you want? What's the order? What are you ordering today? Right? And so intention. Right? So you guys are getting a lot today. A lot of homework just pouring out for you guys. The super, super value pack. We never do this much on a non-paid sort of whatever situation. So are you clear? Are you clear? Because guess what? A lot of times we're not, and we get really mad because we get things that we didn't order. But like, really, the universe said, so what do you want? And you're like, well, I'll take sushi, I'll take spaghetti, and the universe is like, cool, I have no idea what you want. So either you get no order or you get like a ton of nonsense, right? So like, are we clear about what we want? Because a lot of times when we go through a process with somebody to discover that, they're like, yeah, turns out I didn't even want my business to work out because I hate it. Or turns out that I don't even know what I want to do because I was just doing what I thought was right. Or I haven't been putting it out there because I think that like I'm not good enough to do that, or I don't feel like I should be allowed to ask for that. So can you get clear? Like, what does it mean to get clear? Put in that clear order. That's our intention.
Yeah.
You know, and I wanted to add what she just said. So sometimes we are really good with our intention and we really focus, and all of a sudden we start losing shit.
Yes.
We lose a job, like people aren't talking to us. All of a sudden things are breaking, the house falls apart, and you're just like, oh my God, what am I doing wrong? And I'm just like, universe is removing everything in the way of you getting that. I'm going to say that one more time. The universe will remove things that are standing in the way, and sometimes it seems really mean, and we're just like, why? And then when we look back, we're like, wow, if I would have had that, I would have never been here. If I stayed in that friendship, like, that wasn't good for me. Like, it wasn't going both ways. Like, it's like I needed to leave room for something new and wonderful. And when I want to say something about gratitude. The universe, when you are grateful, the universe is like, okay, cool, you're ready for more. When you're grateful, even when I'm with a client that is really grateful for my services, I'm excited to get back in there with them.
Yeah.
It's just like that. Dov and I learned the hard way about gratitude. We both left our respective careers when we got like this calling from within that we needed to change our careers. Dov was a lawyer. I had a really cool business in Midtown in New York City. And we started to awaken all these gifts, and I started hearing messages from guides and all these things, you know, and I was just like, what is going on? And all of a sudden this message was like, you have to leave your job and you need to move to Florida. And I was like, okay. So I looked at Dov one morning and I was like, baby, we're moving to Florida. And she's just like, okay. Like, she's like, okay, you know, like roll her eyes. She's like, when are we leaving, Nicole? I said in about like 3.5 months, October 1, we're gonna be there. We pulled up October 1. We really didn't have the money for the move. I didn't know where I was gonna live. Somebody ended up calling me, was like, do you want to take over the rent of my condo? Get down here, start making our website, start building a business, and all of a sudden I'm like broke.
Yep.
Spent, just maxed out everything, just like getting to a place where like fear set in. And Dov and I had to dig so deep. We had to be like, you know what? I have a roof over my head. It's a big ass roof because we live in New York City. And what we got in New York City for the amount of money that I paid in Florida was like a box. And now I'm in this big condo. Like, I didn't even like it because I'm like, this is like too big. But I was like, thank you, right? I have this beautiful kitchen. I get to cook nothing in right now, but we were cooking shit. I'm really grateful. I got some chairs and my puppies were eating. And then
I fucking love this so hard. Go on.
So what started happening was we started to go into panic mode, right? We're in a crisis now. We're like, are we fucking stupid? Like, we need to look for a job right now to supplement. And we were just kind of like, what do we do, right? So first off, a lot of our friends helped us. My family helped us. Bit of money here and there helping us. So now I'm seeing money growing on trees now because people are willing to just help, right? So, and I let my pride down. I let my ego fall aside because I knew that I had purpose and a mission here and I was going to do it no matter what. Like we had decided that no matter what, this was the only option because there was nothing else that made my heart like boom than what we were doing and what we were about to do. And I knew we had a lot to offer humanity, right? With what we had gotten through and what we were doing and what we knew and learned, and we just wanted to share it. And so we were grateful and we held on and we started looking for jobs and we started getting interviews. And then what does the universe do? The universe is like, I know what you want and you're not going to take another job and you're going to just succeed. And all of a sudden, I got the chills. All of a sudden, the clients started coming in, like at amounts where it was a little shocking. Actually, Dov prayed that we had like, you know, more than we could handle in clients. And when she was talking about intention, don't pray for more than you can handle, right? Pray for like, oh, a little uncomfortable, but I can handle it. We couldn't handle it. We had to get an assistant. Okay, but all this happened very, very quickly, right? And in like 6 months, you know, we created a 6-figure business, right? Because we were, first of all, in our genius.
Yeah.
We did what we loved. We knew what we were good at, right? So I'm going to say a couple really cool things. We were in our genius, right? We were expressing ourselves fully in our videos. Like we had a YouTube channel. I'm going live. I am sharing Nicole. I am saying like the craziest stuff because I'm being vulnerable and authentic because I want to connect you in like with my pain because people really connect in your shit. Like we connect when we're doing well and we're like, hey, high five, like, yay! But when we're really going through something and somebody's like, hey, I went through that, or I'm going through that too, there's a connection that you can't even, it's like the best feeling ever to know that you're not alone.
Yes.
Right? And then from that place, I just completely, we took all that, so we're totally expressing everything. And then when we were talking about the law of growth, this all becomes accumulative. And I was learning that if I do a few things, like take care of myself, that was the other thing. If you make sure that you are eating well, if you make sure, and you need money to do that, so it's okay to want an exorbitant, like a lot of fun. It's okay to want that, right? If you are taking care of yourself, if you are doing things that you love, if you are making sure that you're getting enough sleep, if you make, like, this is a big one. Do not do things, we said it before, I think Dov said it once, do not do anything out of obligation.
Yes.
You are not serving anyone. You are not serving yourself, and you are not serving even the people you are showing up for. It is okay. I remember the day that I really took in the word no. I was like, no, 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 no. And you know what that did? That leaves room for big, fat yeses.
That's right.
Because I was doing what I really wanted to do and showing up in a way that I really could show up in. Right? And then, like, I said yes more. And then I said some no. And it's okay. It's really okay to just allow yourself to be who you are, feel what you're feeling, and not judge yourself.
That's right.
And that's another thing, judgment. There is no room for judgment in life, and especially not in entrepreneurship.
No.
Not in your relationships. No judgment against self. We are here to experience life. I feel like, look.
Can you guys
say something?
No, can you guys feel it? Because I can feel it heavy today, like within the group. I don't know about you, but like I can just, there's something going on. Like, how are you guys feeling? Like, legit?
Yeah.
Have you guys been judging yourselves a lot lately? Because as soon as you said that, Nicole, like I got the chills, and I've been feeling something heavy this whole time. Like, is that it? Have you guys tuned? I don't know. Sorry, go on.
Well,
Sorry.
So I want to say something. So the energy has been interesting. This year is about like really getting what you're seeking, and it's seeking you out. And so last year was like, it was the year of the fire rooster, and so everything was happening really quickly. And so we were going through a massive fire. When you go through fire, everything that's the truth and beautiful will show up at the end, and all the shit just burns away, right? But it feels like crap.
Yep.
It's like being in a burning building and having to jump out and trust was last year. This year is very different, but what happens when we're about to have all these beautiful breakthroughs is two things happen. We have a breakdown. You guys know what I'm talking about. A mental breakdown.
Huge.
Like you'll get sick, and a lot of sabotage, right? Whenever we're about to go to the next level, we will sabotage ourselves every single time. That's going to happen. There's a part of you that's going to be like, no, we're not going there. That's scary. I don't understand what that is. And we'll try to get out of it. And so there's a lot of self-defeating, thoughts about self and doubt, and all of that's really like inner sabotage, like inner critic, the protector. It really tries to protect us from getting hurt. But the thing is there's nothing to be afraid of. There's only good things coming, right? So,
yeah, when you were saying that, and so I see, I've been really checking you guys, your comments. Thank you for everything. Beverly, Tracy. Yeah, we tend to judge ourselves. Is kind of what we're trained to do. And also judgment, self-judgment actually activates the same part of the brain as reward. So when we start judging ourselves, our brain goes, ooh, treat. It's like the same exact thing. So we actually have to train ourselves out of judgment. When you were also saying I'm feeling a heaviness, guys, listen, this is really inspirational, exciting truth, but it also is going to trigger the crap out of the parts of us that are really needing to die away, that are, it's like, imagine if you put a spotlight on the things that are not true. What happens? Whatever is being, getting the light, starting to freak out, get irritated, people, I love to talk about triggers. Triggers are, I'll have people sometimes, we'll be on a call and they're like, I'm very triggered. I'm like, awesome. Right? So I really don't want you to pay me if you're not like actively stretching out of your space, because then of course we have techniques and modalities and methods where we correct that afterwards, but it's good. It's good. So if any of you have been feeling a little bit of trigger, a little bit of anxiety come up, a little bit of heaviness moving, Nicole always says that you can't free it if you don't see it. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing is, as we're talking, as we're showing up, because one of the things that Nicole and I do is we kind of activate that stuff in people when we show up. So we could be talking about anything. We can just be in your space, and all of a sudden you're like, what's going on, right? It's what it's going to bring that. We're like this big spotlight. We're going to bring that out. And so you might be feeling some stuff because we have this ego self, okay? And the ego self is not like the way we use it in common terms in society, like you're an egomaniac. It's not like that. The ego is like the mind persona. It thinks it's its own little, it identifies with your conscious mind. It thinks it's its own little being. And the truth is you're bigger than your ego.
Yes.
You're actually like this big energy, a soul, if you want to use that word, if you don't like that word, an energy body, all these different things. But you're bigger than that, even measurably scientifically. You're bigger than just the brain, just the ego thought at least. And so the thing is that when you start realizing you are responsible, you are creating, you are loved, you don't need to judge yourself. We're talking big truths. Nicole was talking about universal truths, consciousness, pillars of truth in your life. That ego part is going to be like, don't listen. Get back to the Cheerios. Do whatever you have to do. The laundry is needs to be switched. Your pot roast is burning. Whatever is going on, it doesn't want you to listen because what it starts to do is starts to trigger our sabotage.
Yeah.
Right? And our sabotage is doesn't really want us to kind of light the house on fire so we can't make it to that, interview or to that promotion or to whatever it is that's going on for us. So it's normal. It's normal to feel the heaviness. It's normal to feel the trigger. It's great if we feel the trigger. I think we worry a lot. I don't want to trigger somebody, right? I don't want to say something and make them that's their response. It's all good. It's also great. How many times has somebody kind of triggered something in you and then you've thought about it for days and it creates a little breakthrough for you, right? It's initially you feel ugh, but then over time you're wow, and you're taking that shower. It always happens in the shower, right? And then you're having this moment and you kind of break through. So, when Lauren was talking about that, I felt like a lot of that too was kind of what's coming up for us and what little parts of us, right? Maybe your 5-year-old self needed to protect you. Maybe your saboteur wanted to step in. You got all these sub-personalities. Maybe those things are kind of coming up a little for you as we're discussing this stuff. Or the general sense, so now I'm getting more, is the general sense of we can get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Okay, this is all great, right? I'm hearing this is all great, but it doesn't, how do I do it? This is all great, but you could do it and I can't do it, right? And I was talking to somebody yesterday, we were in a consultation, and I really had to get real in a way that I felt Nicole and I are so vulnerable, we're so authentic, we're very transparent, there is nothing you're going to call ourselves on. The thing though is that we have really lived some commonly intense and, difficult and wild lives. And I really think I was listening to this person on the consult and I was we need to share that even more because, I don't think there's anyone that can't do it. Mm-hmm. I was telling Nicole in the car the other day, and in my own right, I really have defied the odds as well, really, truly in a different way. But I looked at her and I'm you really defied every odd, every generality, every expectation. And so if you're thinking oh, well, that's not me, or I can't do that, or I'm just going to adopt this. I was reading a message this morning and somebody said, I've really come to just accept this thing that I deal with. And I'm well, it's fine to sort of accept it, but please leave room for it to change because it can all go, right? What are your qualifiers? What do you qualify yourself with? I am a mom. I am anxious. I am a wife. I am single. I am an entrepreneur. Your qualifiers though aren't who you are. And if we adopt too much attachment to them, so much that we start to lose ourselves in it, then we don't constantly changing. The most infuriating thing I ever heard, and I'm so glad that I didn't meet the person who actually said it, was through somebody else, was that we don't change.
Ever.
You change at every given second.
Nature changes at every given second.
That's
You're
right.
not even this person right now than when I told you that everything changes.
Sure.
And the only
That's
reason that your life will look like you are is because you are making a conscious and active choice to continue to create the reality, to make it look like, and to continue to feed the story that you are the same person. Because you are changing, and every moment is a new canvas. And so we either choose to create the same thing, or we choose to create something new, something different, And there is always that opportunity. So if there is one lie that you want to cross off the list, out of everything we've said today, the lie is we don't change. People don't change. I don't change. So whatever it is that you have as a qualifier, if the qualifier helps you understand something, cool. But I also leave the door for that to change, to be released, to be shifted, to grow out of it. What if? Just leave the door open. You don't have to know how to do it. Just say, you know what? Okay, it's possible that that's not me tomorrow. Because it is. It's possible. Because I have seen so much in my life that it is possible that it blows my mind. And so I no longer question the possibility of anything.
That's right.
Right? And your life can be constantly this state of miracle. That's actually our normal state of being, is a constant state of miracle. And everything else is actually an indicator of where we're stuck. Right? And so it's like, well, we're so used to it because we've got so much different blocks and conditions that we're like, oh, miracles happen randomly. It's like, no, it's just that we have so much stuff that interferes, but naturally you can be in that state all the time. It's not really an anomaly. It's actually just, it's those moments where you line up with yourself and stuff just starts coming your way. Right? And you know that. Like if you're having a great day, you go out, you get your Starbucks, it's on the house, it's perfect. You're like walking through, you have like clients call, everything's great. You get some bookings, you feel really good, your hair worked really good that day, you're really jazzy, right? Or like you're feeling really a lot of shame and guilt, you're feeling really low vibration, you're feeling really angry, you go through your day, it's like coffee's cold, the person in front of you steps on you, gives you a dirty look, somebody almost hits your car on the way out. There's like, it's so on and so forth. We're dragging that energy into our field, attracting that, creating that, right? So letting yourself just kind of look around and create that power.
Oh my God, she was saying so much good stuff that me and Lauren looked like bobbleheads. We were like, yeah.
That's awesome. I like get in it.
Me too. I was just like, yeah.
Tracy, it's such Tracy. A nice comment. She said that's exactly what Lauren did for me, right? Helped her get out of her head, her space, right? And I love that you said that because we do, I tell people, I'm like, why are we doing it alone? Like, we're not built isolated. We're built as a community. Why do we try to figure this stuff out alone? Nicole and I have a very special relationship that we didn't really talk about this morning. Yeah. And, it's our relationship that actually, the intensity of our soul connection that actually brought us to our gifts. It brought us to our work. It's why we serve. It's why we serve together. It's how we serve, and we serve a community of other people who have this similar soul connection. And it's so interesting because it's like, it's such a hard and difficult and emotional thing to go through. And I'm like, why? I tell people all the time, why? Don't do it alone. Why are we doing it alone? And so I love that Tracy said that because it's like, she stepped into a community, a service, a support, a connection, somebody she trusted, and it created some perspective. We all have blind spots and we all need a different level of support, including people who are all the way at the top, all the way at the top. Because again, it's just a journey, right? All the way at whatever point you think they are, they still need it. And sometimes their breakdowns are even deeper. That's because right. You're only going to go as high up in your life as you're willing to go low. It's actually the way the universe works. Like the roots of a tree have to be the length of the height of that tree. So if you want these high heights, if you have these big dreams, that when the deep stuff, when the dark stuff comes up, when the difficult stuff comes up, maybe, just maybe you'll remember my voice telling you like, but this is so you can get to where you asked to go.
Guys, isn't this what we talked about last week? Like, for anyone watching the live right now or going to tune in, like, this literally, to a T, is exactly what we talked about. It's just embracing the cycles. Like, you have to take the good with the bad. Like, it's a balancing act. It's nature, So, yeah, oh, God.
Yeah,
so
I
good.
That. Lauren, I've noticed that every time I have like really bad lows where I'm like, am I gonna live? I'm just like, this is bad. The next level is like I have so much more peace and I'm at like this comfort and like I see things differently, and it's like I had to go through all that stuff and look at those parts of me that really weren't. And when we talk about like frequency, it's like those aspects of us, all that doubt, all the trauma, all the fears, that frequency keeps us from the higher frequency stuff, being like totally, you know, immersed in unconditional love and being able to see someone and just forgive them and just be at peace with ourselves. To have that, we have to get rid of some stuff. We have to let that stuff go. We have to work through those things. And I love what Dov said. We have support from every angle. Any little place that I need refinement, that I feel like, wow, I don't want to do that alone. We hire someone, or like we have people in our lives that we're really close with that can help a little, and we help them. And so it's like I'm never doing it alone. I will never, ever do it alone again.
Or in our case, you have a live-in coach and
we coach each other.
Yeah.
And we trigger each other a lot too.
Yeah.
Dov knows.
Yeah.
We coach through, and then we coach through our trigger.
We really do. It's really actually beautiful to have each other to work through stuff
It
together.
only took 10 years and a lot of mess to be able to do that. So if you're looking at it, you're like, oh, that's so cool. How did they do that?
That's so nice.
Thousands and thousands and thousands, and non-exaggerated thousands of hours of working on ourselves. Our process, each other, 10 years together. And, you know, like, tons of money, you know, allowed us to get to a point where we can actually do this for ourselves, and we can really massively serve other people. So
what's really cool though is the more we've invested in ourselves, the more money actually came in.
Right?
And so specifically, even when it's like, you know, Dov needs to get her hair done and like get her nails done and all those things, like those are even like, I know they sound like they're not important really, but they really are, because if it makes you feel good, it's so important. And so even just little things like that, and then really investing in yourself in other areas, the money just swings back around. It's like if you give to self, the universe is going to give you even more, right? To just make up for it and then some. Dov and I even will, when we want to take little vacays or we want to do something nice for ourselves, we'll just like call in the amount of money that we need for the trip, or we call in the amount of money that we would need to replace our work. And we usually, I'm not kidding, we'll come back from that trip, get back to work and make that exact number. Right? Yeah. So start writing down numbers. Start looking at what, you know, you're asking the universe for. Give some timelines, deadlines, and things like that. And start to, I tell people, trusting the universe and trusting what I'm seeing. It only happens through experiencing it. Right? And as we experience it, then we can trust it even more. And it just continuously is built in that way, to the point where you're just like, oh, no, I know because I know that that's going to work again.
So I have to say something to that, because it's interesting, like, because the people that are going to be watching the replay and watching the live, like, you guys know me, you know I tell it like it is, and it's interesting because for the first time in my 30 years on this earth, I actually was able to manifest the exact amount of money I needed to replace my laptop. Literally came out of fucking nowhere, guys. Like, nowhere. Yeah. Like, State Farm, ready for this one? You guys are going to laugh your butts off. But this is the power of what Dov and Nicole are talking about. And, like, you guys, I don't want to give you all the credit because you know, but a big part of that credit goes to you two loves. Because literally, you guys literally cleared the shit that I needed to clear in order to make this happen. But, like, for the MacBook that I needed, because mine was about to literally explode, I got a check from State Farm from 2012 because I overpaid $287. What? Does that even happen? Right? Like, it happens, and it can happen, and there's power and truth in what these two beautiful ladies are saying, and it's like, it just, the reason I wanted to bring them on for two reasons to talk to you all, and it's, the main reason is because I friggin' love them, and the second reason is because I feel like as entrepreneurs, we so often feel that everything needs to be compartmentalized. Like, this element of us, and this element of us, and our business, and our life, and XYZ. And it's so far from the truth. And so when you finally, like, embrace all of those parts of yourself, you create a stronger you. And that makes for a better everything. It trickles down into your life, into your business, into your home, just everything. So it's like, that's why, like, yeah. That's
I love that so much. I love that so much what you said. You know, I started thinking about how many of us, and I'm thinking back to a time when I was, you know, practicing law, I would have like me at work, me at home,
Bingo.
me with certain friends, and I was like, this is like schizophrenic. I
said that the other day. I'm like, I'm talking to people. Like, what?
Right? I'm like, why are there so many versions of me? Right? Like,
Right.
I want to be one whole version of me
Yeah.
that expresses all of these parts of me all the time. And as soon as I said that, I heard some of you go, I could never do that. I could never
Really?
do that. If someone knew about what happens to me on the weekends or the shit that I do alone, or listen, I'm not saying that every ounce of your dirty laundry needs to be exposed, but what we are talking about is, first of all, accepting all of it.
That's right.
Okay? Because there's nothing you need to be shameful of. I don't care if you have to lay in your closet on the weekends because you're so damn scared of your life.
Yep.
I don't care if you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you eat the contents of your refrigerator because you don't know how to handle your traumas.
Yep.
I don't care if you have a terrible, very, you know, difficult relationship that you don't have tools to deal with.
Yep.
First of all, it doesn't mean that you need to judge yourself at all. None. And for right now, I'm actually giving you permission. I'm asking you to bring willingness to do that, to let go of that judgment for right now. First and
Yeah.
foremost, you know, it's like we don't need to be judgmental in that way. And then just the potential of like, how can I still just be me, more complete me? And when I see you, Lauren, that's what I feel. You have I really appreciate that, you know, that you've had an impact with us. But I also want to say that, like, it's always your willingness. It's always you showing up and being willing. I tell people all the time, I can wave a Harry Potter wand in your life and we're really that good. But you have something ultimate that trumps everything in the universe, and that's your free will.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to understand that she had the changes she had because of her willingness.
Yep.
Her choice to do that. Her choice to say, I know something's not working. I need to do something new. I'm open. And then whoever is meant to guide you and can guide you at that moment, they will. And you are going to create the change because you're ready and you're willing and you're open.
Guys,
Right?
and
So
the,
it's like, I
and the
really-
people that are tuning in right now, I need to remind you, I met these ladies in June 2017. May? June?
May.
One of them.
Something like that.
Yeah, springtime, yay! Like, this, but I had already started down my path. I had made up my mind that I was going to start creating change. I was going to start living my life differently, and they literally just, boop, just like that. Like, I mean, yeah, obviously we you know, I had to fly in a plane and some stuff. It wasn't like, you know, genie, whatever, like, yes, whatever the, you know what I'm talking about? Like, the,
Yeah.
whatever, like the genie. But didn't she do like a nose twitch? I don't know, whatever. Anyway, so,
Yes.
yeah, like it happened because it was meant to happen, but you feel so much more at peace with yourself. And like, I was thinking about this the other day, and I know that for anybody that needs to hop off, like, and you want to catch, you know, the remaining few, obviously, you know, you have permission to do that. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking about how everybody in my realm of educating wedding pros, there is nobody out there that does it quite the way I do it. And I mean, that goes for everybody. I could put 2 planners next to each other. I could put 2 photographers next to each other. I could put 2 officiants next to each other, which I need to tell them quickly. I will. Like, I could they're all different. They're all different. But the point is, like, I was thinking about last night, like, I want to create something for my community that is different. I don't want to do another freaking course. Who has time to finish courses? I don't want to go and, you know, create a mastermind group. No offense, love you guys to pieces, but I like free shit too. That's why this community is free. Like, I want to do something that is different and, you know, bring that to the table for you guys, because that's what we need as people. But what I was saying, officiant, everybody that's watching this right now and this replay, I want you to give a round of freaking applause. I know they're all sitting there right at their computer like, what the fuck's Lauren doing? But I'm going to do it anyway. Give them a round of applause because these 2 are, like, I don't even, like, oh my God, they are paving the way for how officiating is going to start looking in the industry, guys. Because, okay, you guys tell it. Because when, oh my God, goosebumps, I can't even speak. I'm like just so excited. Like, I love it so much. So these two are bringing their gifts, their talents, their strengths to the table, but they are now offering a service to clients to marry them. But there's also background, like goosebumps for days. I don't know if you guys can see that, but like this is what you guys are supposed to be doing. But yeah, anyway, so tell them about it, because this is like, I don't think anyone in the industry has even heard of this. So I want this place to be the first place that anybody hears about it. Go ahead. Yeah. So what do you guys do?
We haven't talked about it that much. Thank you so much. Nicole, as I said before, Nicole and I started with working with people that have, people talk a lot about soulmates. We have a twin flame connection. You guys might have heard that online. You might hear people. We actually did a radio show recently about it. So it's now more popular than it used to be in concept. And we started just with this community. We started just with these relationships that are, I believe relationships in general, they are this amazing catalyst to your growth, like entrepreneurship. It's like you have to look at what happens after a year or 6 months or 2 years where you're no longer distracted by the excitement of your partner. And you're like, oh my God, you know what? You're faced with yourself. You're faced with yourself. Okay. So at that point, you're looking at you.
That's right.
And whatever is going on in there, and that partner is just becoming a giant mirror of your crap.
Yes.
And that's not easy. And that is the most amazing opportunity to grow. So we started really focusing with Sacred Union, which is why it was easy for us to move into entrepreneurship and helping people with that as well, because it's connected to the same root and it creates the same sort of evolution in your life.
Oh, yes. Love it.
So then we looked at it and Nicole knew since the very beginning. She became an officiant a couple of years ago. She was like, I know that I want to bring people into these really sacred connections, right? Like really elevating this concept of what it means to be connected and be in a relationship where the relationship is not just about what are you giving me and I'm giving you, but what is happening to our evolution? How are we growing each other? How are we serving the world because we're growing? How are we becoming more conscious people? Right? How is this a conscious love, a service-based love, a love that is about us growing? And when people say, like, how do you stay with somebody forever, especially in a society where millennial, and I'm a millennial, just like churning people out one after the other, it's because it's about growth, self-observation, the work, all of those things. And so not only bringing through, people through this amazing, like really spiritual process of union, taking it away from just the legality, but also this really intentional love, right? And how love is this really amazing creation, but also taking people through like a process of 3 to 6 months prior to that. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you could know each other on a level that you don't even know yourselves?
Yes.
And then take all that weight, right? All that shit to a union like that with all our baggage, because the baggage creates bricks between the relationship, and we all have it. We all have it. Nicole and I had more than most. We all have it, right? It's like your traumas, the way you related to your parents, the way you bonded, that freak out that you had on so-and-so when you were 5, all those different things, we take it, and we're not even talking your ancestry. Science has now shown that you're inheriting in your genetics. You are inheriting in your genetics up to 14 lifetimes of trauma and memory. That could be up to 1,400 years.
Hey.
Okay, you have like backpacks, right? Backpacks that are filled with mountains of stuff.
Buses filled.
I'm good.
And being able to clean this out. So we go through this really deep dive of like, let's dig all the stuff out, release it, and let you go with tools, with understanding for the partner, with a real ability to communicate with one another. And we had the honor to do a wedding recently in New York, and it was really special. And we really sealed the energies, and we really brought in, you know, who the couple is, and really brought protection for them and consecrated their energy. And it was really, it's a very magical experience to be able to do.
Lauren, you would love this part because you don't know this part, but when I started to call in the angels and I started to call in high beings and all these different energies, all of the devices died. It sucked out 7 hours of battery out of the phone, or not out of the phone, out of the camera that the person was taking like the video camera. Oh, both phones that were going live just went dead, and they had plenty of percentage. It just was like, the energy was like, and it just died.
Because love, guys.
Ooh, that energy was like...
Seriously, it happened to you and us
so
like 3 times, remember? Like, oh my, like, I mean, oh my God. So, for anybody that is like, what are these people talking about? I don't think anybody that's watching, though, right now, because I don't feel that at all. Like, I know Karen's in it, like, Beverly's in it, Tracy's in it, like, but watch their Instagram videos. See, I knew Tracy, I knew. Like, watch the Instagram video of them dancing. Because what I want everybody that's watching right now that's a wedding pro, look at how different it is than a regular ceremony, energy-wise. You can tell by their faces. I mean, they're friggin' dancing. They're having the time of their life. It's what it's supposed to be. When did we lose that? When did ceremonies lose that? Because people are putting on a show for everybody that's watching. This is something that is going to seriously revolutionize relationships, marriage, the wedding industry. Like, I've got chills haven't gone away. When you guys first told me about that, when was it? Like November, December? I don't even know. I just kept seeing like fireworks, like holy shit. And so, but to see the culmination of that just makes me so happy and so like overflowing with joy, as cheesy as that sounds, but I fucking love it. I love it. It fills me up.
They were so happy, and you know, it's important what you brought up actually, because they were going to have a big wedding, and they felt a lot of stress about it not being who they are or what they wanted to express, and they asked us, like, what if we could just do it us, you know? And we've been working with them for 7 months, so we are their mentors, we are their, you know, their people, and they wanted it to be us. We went through a process together, and it was just, you know, their photographer, their videographer, and us. And they made it exactly what they wanted. You know, if you can like help be an advocate for what is it that the couple wants, did they even get to ask themselves that? There's so much obligation, so much shame in expressing it how you want it, you know, and I think that it's really beautiful to check in and be like, what's important to you?
That's right.
Something that was really important to them. And it was amazing. Every moment of it was such an honor, and it was so amazing.
And you can see it, like, because obviously we haven't had a chance to connect and catch up and whatever, but like you best believe I was stalking you guys like crazy that entire time you were gone. I'm like, all right, I want to see like what's going on. How are they doing? Oh my God, do they need help? I don't know. I mean, and you didn't need, obviously you didn't need me, but like I was there in so much support. But to hear that all of the device, like, holy shit balls is all I'm gonna say.
I know, if you go to our Facebook, you can see the live of the ceremony, and then you just boop. Right?
There's actually you'll see it. Somebody asked, our Instagram is Twin Flame Revolution, and so is our Facebook, and so is YouTube.
Absolutely.
Twitter.
And these ladies are the real deal, obviously, and I just can't thank you guys enough. So I just want to open it up for like quick, like 3 minutes of questions, because I know we went over, and I always do, and I knew it was going to happen with you too, because I friggin' love you.
Especially with us.
I know. Sorry. I'm like blah blah blah. So what? And Tiffany, Dov and Nicole, you're welcome. Like that. I'm just gonna be total Maui right now. You're welcome. Like I'm. 1 hour, 11 minutes, 11 seconds. Sorry, just said it. So, right?
Okay.
So,
all right, Tiffany, we'll see ya.
I know. What questions do you guys have for these ladies while we have them? Because literally, I've watched many a live. They have given us so much. Like, they have given so much value, so much content, so much wisdom, so much love and healing than any, honestly, other live I think I've ever watched of theirs. So I want you guys to be able to take advantage of this for, so like, just, you know, what questions do you guys have, or what has come up for you that you're like, oh my God, now what? Like, has anything come up for anybody that's watching the live right now? And if you're watching the replay later, I'm more than happy to help, you know, do what I can. I am no way, shape, or form these loves, like these loves. But
you're amazing.
Thank you. It's taken me a long time to, like, I mean, the people that are watching, Tiffany especially, Tiffany knows I've been like fighting it, like, whoa, like, how the hell am I going to tell people, oh yeah, I'm intuitive and I do readings and I'll do readings for you. Like, how am I going to bring that into the wedding industry? Well, guess what? That just happened. And yeah. So anyway, and you knew. I knew you knew. I remember that conversation on the phone. You're like, well, it'll happen. I'm like, God damn it, I don't want it to happen. I know, I was fighting it the whole way, and then here it is. So if anything has come up for you guys, drop it in the comments. But otherwise, thank you guys just so
You're
much.
welcome.
Like,
we're so happy to be here and talk. Definitely, it's such an honor.
It was a great one. Obviously, you guys needed to hear a lot of stuff poured out. We always just deliver what feels like it needs to be expressed. And, you know, Lauren wasn't exaggerating. We definitely don't tend to give this much a sort of kind of live like this. But, you know, you guys needed to hear it. It was important. It'll be transformative. I'm always grateful to be guiding and serving, you know, and, you know, asking yourselves too, like, how can I just show up and let my ego step aside? How can I serve today? What am I doing? How do I love it? Coming back to your roots of why you do what you do, right? When Laura was talking about the wedding industry, like, you know, can you step a little bit away from the concept of the business and a little bit more into the connection, a little more into the service, a little more what you're delivering? Because all of a sudden all this joy starts to build up in you, and then gratitude builds up in you. And you know what? The reciprocal reaction of that will always be that you're compensated for what you do even more mightily than when you're focused on it as a business. Yeah. So it's not that it's not a business. It's not that you don't focus on a business. It's not that you shouldn't be compensated. Right. But, you know, it's like, how can I reconnect with what it is that I do that really makes me excited and why I do it? Because obviously you did it for some reason. Yes. Because it expresses you, because you love it in some way, because you're connected to it in some way. If you check none of the above, you may need to reassess a couple things, which is also super great. Right? But it's right. Like, it's really being go back into that space. And, you know, I love that Lauren did, you know, do what she did and came out and said, you know what, this is part of who I am, because we talked about that, being who we are, 100% who we are. How can we allow ourselves, you know, I tell people all the time, you could do a lot. You're all very talented, but what can you do that other people cannot do?
That's right.
You, right? You cannot be someone else, and they cannot be you. And the best way to be the most successful is to be all of you. Mm-hmm. Because that's the one thing that no one else can do.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter how many people there are that do photography or officiate or whatever. It doesn't matter. Not only because there are unlimited people, there are unlimited resources, there are unlimited, and you're going to attract, you know, and I want to say this to you, Lauren, actually, you're going to attract what Nicole said before. If anyone needs to float away, we send them with love, with gratitude. We let them float away into the, and you will attract all those people that have been waiting for your message, and all the amazing people that are on live today watching you, who honor you. And this is true for all of you guys. Yeah. Being you feels scary at the beginning, but when you start all these people start gravitating towards you that are like, wow, I was waiting for you.
Yeah.
Being you again. Like, let your light shine and your freak flag fly.
That's right. That's right. It's flying high. It's flying high, baby. There's flying high. Oh, God.
God, I love you guys so much.
I was like, wait, is she flicking me off? I'm like, yes, she is.
So am. You know. You don't even have to question. You know. You know. So.
I love it.
Karen asked, can I ask a woo-woo question? I oftentimes see triple digits, phone clocks, 111, 333, etc. Girl, that's, I mean, I won't step on toes here, but they'll tell you the same exact thing. It's your guides, your angels, your peeps, as I call them. They're trying to tell you something. So whatever it was that you were thinking about at that moment, or whenever it, whatever you've got going on that's like really strong that day, that's what they're trying to tell you. That's your answer that you've been looking for. You don't need to go and find guidance. You don't need to hire a coach. And that was a question that came up for a lot of people a while ago. How do you determine who's the right coach for you? Or how do you know when a program's the right program to buy for you, or anything like that? And it's like, you just know. Like, you just know. You just feel it. And that's the same thing, Karen. Like, I don't know why I thought that related at all, but for me, it did for a second.
Yeah.
But,
I think it relates a lot, because for me, the doubles or triples are, some of the numbers have slightly different indicators, but for me, and by the way, nothing is too woo-woo for us. I just want you to know, somebody asked me the other day if we're spiritual. We are go as far as it goes. So there's no such thing, right? But on the other hand, because I've worked with,
Was that a real question, though? Like, I'm trying to, really...
Because I've worked with so many different people, I can still have a conversation with you if you're a stockbroker on Wall Street, and I can make you understand these concepts that are universal laws and principles, and I can get you to a connection with yourself. But to answer your question, it means you're in alignment. It means that you're on track, right? So actually what Lauren was saying is very relevant. It means, like, if you're asking something, it means I'm on track. I'm where I'm supposed to be. Even if you feel like what's going on right now, I'm where I'm supposed to be. It is really aligned. It is actually working. It is the direction. It's the right direction, or a sign or confirmation of something you were thinking about. So that also, we tend to see numbers based on what they mean to us as well. So if you're saying I need a sign or confirmation, and then you get that, understand it will be subjective to an extent, other than this concept of just generally being aligned. And I agree with her. If you are drawn towards somebody, if you're drawn towards a course, if you're drawn to, guys, trusting ourselves is not the easiest thing, right? I've done a lot of work. I trust myself above anything. I will do it if I feel it's right, no matter what. But what I would say to you is, like, when people say, how do I start trusting myself? It's like, first and foremost, what's your first reaction to something, right? So if you're like talking with us or talking with Lauren, or you're seeing a sign for a course, if your whole being goes, oh my God, that's what I need, then take note of that. Maybe carry a little book with you, make a note. That was my reaction to X. Because then the sub-consequence, the conversation that comes after, that's the garbage.
That's right.
So it's like, oh, I should do that. But really, your initial reaction is, I'd rather die, right? Then you start convincing yourself you should do it. Or your first reaction was like, I want to do this. And then it's like, I shouldn't spend the time. I shouldn't spend the money. Money is always huge. That's always the biggest one. Actually, never the reason. Never the reason. Guys, it's never the reason. It's never the reason. I don't care if the course is $5, $500, or $50,000. And I know you're saying, well, I don't have $50,000. What are you saying? It's never the reason. It's never the reason. It's never the reason. Not to mention, Lauren already showed you that you can literally grow money on trees, whether it's 250 or 250,000.
Yes.
The universe does not know the difference.
I totally forgot this one, and I'm going, like, do you guys remember? Remember when you were like, the very first call that we had, and we were talking, and I said, oh, okay, well, I'm going to have to wait until, I have some people pay me, and then I will, be able to hire you guys. Do you remember how long it took for that money to come in? 18 fucking minutes. 18 minutes. You remember that? I beat that guy. I still hold it. I got the record. Like
18 minutes. Wow.
It was 18 minutes. Yeah. Like Dom's like, yeah, it was. So when you're meant to do something, like, don't let, like Dov is saying, don't let the money stand in your way with anything. Like, put the negative self-talk aside. If it's meant to happen, it's going to happen. You just need to believe it enough that it will happen. Like, that's it.
I love that.
Yep. And when the fear comes up, the sabotage comes up, expect it. Go, you know what? I was waiting for you. I was waiting for your story and your lies. I was waiting for the fear and the conversation. And you just don't submit to it.
Yes.
It's not that we get to this place and we no longer have that. It's not that very famous, motivational people get to that place and they no longer have it. It's that they look at it and they go, not today. And they keep going.
Yes.
And you just keep going even when it comes up. Mm-hmm. That's the difference. Mm-hmm. And you keep pushing.
Yep.
Right?
So true.
And you get stronger through whatever you need. So
true.
I love it.
I'm so glad we got here.
Yes.
I got some transformational stuff I got to do with some people.
Yeah, clearly.
So.
Sorry.
No. Oh my God. I love you guys.
No,
It was
we're
so
so
fun.
happy to be here. We're getting it all in. We're getting her done.
Love it. This has been so much fun, and you guys are so lucky that Lauren is doing this. It's such a service.
Awesome.
So cool to hear people. It's so cool to get back to the community. You know, you guys can't receive without giving. It's actually a reciprocal world. In reality, the universe works that way. So don't be afraid to give. Don't be afraid to give love. Don't be afraid to give your time. Because it's so great, and it creates this constant balance all the time. Most people are actually stuck on the receiving part, not the giving part. But, right, we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, another talk. Amazing.
Love you guys.
So much love to you both. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you all for joining us. We'll see